Hello one and all, it's Mike, PC31 the Vinyl Policeman, and they're going to do a thread today, and it's a thread that's been started by the Vinyl Narrative, which was a new channel to me, but one which I've subbed to now. Great idea for a thread actually. It's to show 5 albums that you would never want to get rid of, never want to sell, whatever. That's a tricky one because I think, as Steve Carlson said, probably everything has got a price, but yeah, not necessarily everything, because I've got a few albums I'm going to show which I wouldn't sell for any price, literally. But there are some there, yeah, they probably have got a price, but it would be very, very high. But I've certainly got no plans whatsoever to sell them because there's some sort of backstory attached to them or something like that. Anyway, here we go. Let's start off with the first one. And it's from August 1975 it came out. And it was Bruce's third album, Born to Run. And I've got several copies of this, box sets and various things. But I came across this at a record fair a few years ago now. And yeah, I've shown it before. It's an upside down Born to Run. It's a Dutch pressing. It's a first press, but it's a Dutch pressing, CBS label. And literally, the front cover is the front and the back cover just turned upside down. I've looked everywhere for this. When I first bought it, which was quite a few years ago now, I did find one other in Europe that had been sold for quite a hefty price. But before I did this, I had another recheck on the internet, and I can't find one anywhere. I couldn't find one on Discogs. If anybody is aware of one, obviously let us know. But I can't find one anywhere. And that's the cover. That's the front cover, which, as you can see, is literally upside down. And the inside as well. So as I say, it's a Dutch press. Obviously a few of them got off of the presses, but they were obviously stopped very, very quickly. Bought it from a record fair, and I was going through, flicking through, and I pulled it up, and as I say, it's an album obviously I'm so familiar with. Showed it to the dealer and said, what's going on here? Just while the brain was registering. The dealer is a really good guy actually. He didn't obviously know the album very well at all, so you couldn't really see anything wrong with it. So I just bought it and went on my merry way. But as I say, I can't find another one at all at the moment. I'm sure there are some out there because the presses, several must have come off the presses or whatever. But couldn't find one. So yeah, from August 75. So Bruce's third album, Born to Run, flipped round the other way. So my second one is a completely sentimental one, and it's an album which my dear old dad, who's passed away now, he absolutely loved Neil Diamond and Frank Sinatra. Like lots and lots of music, had a really good voice. Used to like the Rolling Stones and lots of kind of, great bands. But his two favourites was always the same, Neil Diamond and Frank Sinatra. When he passed away, I inherited all of his collection. But I can still visualise now my dad in the corner of kind of the lounge with his headphones on. The rest of the family were watching TV. This is years and years ago. And he's bellowing away in the corner, singing at the top of his voice the choruses that are coming up. And the album which he just thrashed to death, in saying that, it's still in quite good nick actually, there's no jumps or anything. But the album that he played and played and played and played, he had lots of Neil Diamonds, lots of Frank Sinatras, but this one was just never off the turntable, it felt anyway. And as a consequence, I just know every song inside out. I could literally sing every song here word perfect because I heard him play it and sing it so many times on MCA label. So this is from 1974. So this is obviously, Neil Diamond's 12 greatest hits. He's had lots of greatest hits albums, but this is the one when he was, I think this is from 68 to 72. It's all the hits in that period. And when you look at them, Song Sung Blue, I Am, I Said, that's my favourite one actually. Play Me, Brother Love's Travelling Salvation Show, Suleiman, Sweet Caroline, Cracking Rose, Shiloh, Holly Holy, Stones, Brooklyn Road's Done Too Soon. I mean, God, yeah, it is absolutely fabulous album. I can see why my dad loved it so much. And all of these are studio versions from the original albums between 68 and 72, apart from Holly Holy and Sweet Caroline, which are live versions which were taken off the fantastic Hot August Night album. But yeah, there's obviously, from a value point of view, there's this was gold in the UK. In the US, it was 4 times platinum. There's millions of these around, but none that were treasured by my dear old dad. So that makes this completely priceless. Next one, again, apologies, I've shown this one before, but and I've mentioned the story. But anyway, when I was kind of very, very young, when I was still living at home, I was lying on my sick bed with man flu, and my dear old mum said she'd just gone over to the local department store, which was just up the road, the Co-op, and she said, "Is there anything I want?" So I wrote on a little note, and I say apologies, I've told this before, but I wrote on a little note, I said, "Can you get this album which has just come out, Mum?" And she said, "Yeah, just write it down, I can't remember." So I put, "Never mind the naughty bits, here's the Sex Pistols." So she went into the department store, handed the piece of paper across to the assistant at the department store, was handed that. So you can imagine when she came back, she was none too impressed, but she had a fantastic sense of humour, so she saw the funny side. So again, another one which is completely and utterly priceless. Next one is a bootleg, and I have got lots and lots of Clash bootlegs. It's one of the things I collect. But my first ever vinyl bootleg of the Clash I got back in the early 90s, and I didn't know much about. I've always liked bootlegs, and because of the history they actually bring, and you know, different versions of songs, you capture that historical moment, the banter between the songs, and all, for many, many reasons. So I've got lots and lots of bootlegs, but from a Clash point of view, the first vinyl one I ever got was my wife. One Christmas, as I say, back early 90s, she bought me several records for Christmas. Most of them I already had, but I had to pretend I didn't have them. But in amongst them, she actually bought me the very, unbeknown to her, unbeknown to me at the time as well actually, but she bought me the very, very first Clash bootleg that was ever put on vinyl. So it's the earliest known Clash vinyl bootleg, and it's called Take It or Leave It. And it's this one with the punkette on the front. And this came out August 1977, and it's from a concert at the Electric Circus in Manchester on the 8th of May 1977. So that means it was the White Riot tour. Now this particular, white label of course, but this particular version is actually the second press. There is one just before this one, and this one is the third press I've actually since picked up. The very, very first press still eludes me, but this one's pretty rare with the punkette on front, and that punkette's called Denise. I think she's up in Manchester. But yeah, so that kind of started my Clash bootleg collection, which is considerable now. So my wife didn't know what she was doing at the time, but she unleashed a beast. So this one will never go anywhere. My 1, 2, 3, my fourth one. Was it my fifth one? I think it's my fifth one, isn't it? I think it's my fifth one. Is this particular one? This is kind of not a sentimental one, but it's a grail. And I went to a record shop where I'm near Portsmouth, along the coast, PJ Harvey country, Bridport. There's a fantastic record shop, really quite a famous one, called Clock Tower Records. And I went there one weekend with my wife, and didn't phone in advance, just got in the car and kind of drove around there for the weekend. When we arrived there, it was all closed, and there was kind of fencing up outside and bollards outside the record shop, Clock Tower Records. So there'd been a fire there, and it had apparently affected part of the store and everything, so it had been closed down temporarily. So I had a mobile number for the owner, so I phoned him up and said, look, we're in Bridport, we've come across from Portsmouth, which is about 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive, and I said, what a shame, we really wanted to come to the store and see what you've got. So he said to me, if I'm prepared to kind of rough it, I could go around his house, because as the fire was going on, he pulled out all these valuable records, all the higher priced ones, the rare ones, and he took them home with him. And all of his records were in the bottom of wardrobes in his bedroom and all around, well, all over the house, in fact, were the records that he was kind of rescuing while the fire was going on, while they were doing the rework. So he said to me, I can go around his house and literally have a rummage through all his things. So I was literally in the bottom of one of his wardrobes, and all his clothes are hanging up in the wardrobe, and I'm very deep going through records, and I found this one, but it's that one. So it's First Press, Dark Side of the Moon, with a solid blue triangle, and because of the circumstances and everything, he actually sold it to me at a really good price. So that was a grail, so I was very, very pleased to get hold of that one. And final one, 5 or 6, I lost count, I don't know. Anyway, final one, which again is not exactly a sentimental one, but it was a grail which I've been after for a long, long time, and came across it at a good price, and it's in great condition. And it's the very first press mono of Please Please Me, with the cover there, McBain thing moved to the end past the S, but it's the black and gold, and it's the Dick James version, so it is first press. Northern Songs is the second version with black and gold, but this is very first press Beatles, 1963, of course, mono, and that was a grail. So that's another one which, unless times got incredibly hard, I would never sell that. So that's my 5 or 6, I can't remember, but okay, hope you enjoyed that, folks, and speak again soon.